The woman who owns a Dalton home that she leased to Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not paid her rent, and now she wants...
Tiffany Henyard has a new battle on her hands.
She is being evicted for not paying her rent, and now her landlord is talking about her past tenant trouble.
At some point, you have to understand that karma's going to catch up to you.
It's a power grab. That's it.
Tiffany Henyard's rise to power was once marked by confidence and an air of invincibility. As the self-proclaimed super mayor of Dalton, Illinois, she presented herself as an untouchable political figure. However, in recent months, her image has crumbled under the weight of controversy, extravagance, and alleged misuse of public funds. While Dalton residents faced economic hardships and growing frustrations, Henyard was living a life of luxury. As other council members faced removals and political uncertainty, she was reportedly partying in Las Vegas, indulging in lavish experiences. But as the saying goes, karma catches up with everyone. A now viral video exposing her opulent lifestyle has become more than just a spectacle. It's a stark reminder of accountability, or rather, the lack of it. A lifestyle of excess at taxpayers' expense since taking office, Henyard's spending habits have raised significant concerns. She reportedly spent over $1 million on campaign billboards and personal luxuries, all while taxpayers footed the bill for her extravagant lifestyle. Her hair and makeup expenses alone amounted to nearly $8,000, while her police detail cost an astounding $1 million. Luxury quickly became her norm. Henyard frequently flew first class, stayed in high-end hotels, and dined at some of the most expensive restaurants. One trip to Las Vegas alone cost taxpayers $8,400 for hotel stays, $600 for a single meal at STK Steakhouse, and $3,700 for flights. While Dalton's residents struggled with everyday concerns, their mayor appeared to be living in a completely different world, one of fine dining, designer outfits, and unchecked spending. As these details came to light, outrage grew, sparking investigations and calls for accountability. Legal troubles and a looming eviction beyond political backlash, Henyard's financial troubles seem to be mounting. Court documents reveal that she and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, have not paid rent since August, owing $3,350 to their landlord. After refusing property inspections, an eviction notice was filed in September, suggesting that her days of luxury may be coming to an end. The contrast between Henyard's lifestyle and the reality faced by Dalton's residents has fueled growing frustration. As scrutiny over her spending intensifies, many are questioning how long she can hold onto her position. Investigations into the potential misuse of village funds are underway, and the pressure for accountability continues to mount. What consequences await Henyard? With mounting legal and political challenges, the biggest question remains: what happens next for Tiffany Henyard? The unfolding scandal serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and entitlement. Henyard's story is no longer just about politics, it's about the consequences of extravagance at the expense of the public. As Dalton residents demand transparency and justice, Henyard may soon have to answer for the choices that led to her dramatic downfall. For now, the investigation continues, and the public waits to see whether she will face real consequences or attempt to hold on to power despite the growing backlash. One thing is certain: the days of her untouchable image are long gone.
I don't think the money is worth it. The cash up front, it's not worth it. I would have rather rented to someone who, is an honest person and goes to work.
Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor of Dalton, Illinois, has been making headlines for her lavish spending and alleged misuse of taxpayer dollars. But her latest controversy isn't about first-class flights or luxury hotel stays. It's about something far more basic: unpaid rent. Despite her extravagant lifestyle, Henyard and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, are facing eviction after failing to pay their rent for months. Their financial troubles don't stem from a lack of access to money. Rather, their priorities appear skewed. Luxury trips and personal indulgences come first, while basic responsibilities like rent seem optional. The same mayor who reportedly billed taxpayers $88,000 for her glam squad now finds herself entangled in a far less glamorous predicament, an eviction lawsuit that has left her landlord struggling to keep her own home. How the trouble started. The issue began over the summer when Henyard and Wood's landlord, Lisa Hull, was forced to raise their rent by $200, bringing the total to $2,400 per month due to rising property taxes. Instead of covering the increase, Woods reportedly claimed he couldn't afford it. By August, Henyard and Woods stopped paying rent altogether, making no payments for August, September, or October. Their failure to pay rent wasn't the only issue. Hull alleges that the couple changed the locks and the garage door code, effectively locking her out of her own property. Fearing legal repercussions if she tried to regain access herself, Hull turned to the courts and filed an eviction lawsuit. However, even this process has been frustratingly difficult. Dodging the eviction notice, Cook County sheriffs have attempted to serve Henyard and Woods with an eviction notice, but they have been unable to locate them at either their residence or village hall. Their avoidance has left Hull with no choice but to hire a private process server to track them down. Meanwhile, Hull, who has not worked in several months, is now facing the potential loss of her own home because of their refusal to pay rent. She says Henyard has cut off all communication, even blocking her phone number, leaving Hull in an increasingly desperate situation. A reflection of Dalton's frustration, this unfolding fiasco mirrors the growing frustration of Dalton residents who have watched Henyard live lavishly at taxpayer expense while the town struggles with financial and governance issues. The irony of the situation is not lost on the public. A mayor who has spent millions on personal luxuries, including high-end fashion, first-class flights, and expensive dinners, now faces allegations of dodging rent and forcing her own landlord into financial distress. As the eviction process drags on, many are left wondering, how much longer can Henyard avoid accountability? This scandal, like the many before it, raises serious questions about her leadership, judgment, and financial priorities. Whether she faces real consequences remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, her once untouchable status is quickly unraveling. Tiffany Henyard, the embattled mayor of Dalton, Illinois, has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. From lavish spending of taxpayer dollars to an ongoing FBI investigation, her leadership has been riddled with controversy. Now, she faces yet another scandal, an eviction battle that has further exposed her questionable priorities. While Henyard and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, eventually managed to come up with the overdue rent, their landlord, Lisa Hull, has made it clear that she wants them out for good. Given that Henyard was on a month-to-month lease, her time in the home was already limited. However, Hull's frustration with the couple's behavior over the past several months has left her determined to remove them permanently. But this eviction dispute is about more than just unpaid rent. It serves as a microcosm of the larger issues surrounding Henyard's leadership, a tale of mismanagement, reckless spending, and a complete disregard for accountability. A luxury lifestyle while residents struggle despite failing to pay rent for months, Henyard and Woods never seem to struggle financially. In fact, Henyard has been living a life of luxury at the taxpayer's expense, raising serious ethical concerns. Since stepping into office, she has been accused of reckless spending, including $88,000 billed to taxpayers for hair and makeup services, first-class flights, and luxury hotels for personal and official trips, a $1 million police detail assigned to protect her expensive designer clothing and fine dining, including a single trip where she spent $8,400 on hotels, $3,700 on flights, and $600 on a steakhouse meal. These extravagant expenses stand in stark contrast to the financial struggles of Dalton residents who have been dealing with rising taxes, underfunded services, and poor local governance. Blocking transparency and dodging accountability, Henyard's spending habits have raised red flags, leading to calls for increased government transparency. However, instead of cooperating, she has taken extreme measures to block oversight. Village trustees and concerned residents have repeatedly accused her of hiding financial records, dodging questions, and retaliating against those who challenge her decisions. This pattern of secrecy and control has only fueled public outrage. The FBI has now taken interest in Henyard's financial dealings, adding another layer of scrutiny to her already tarnished reputation. A political fall from grace. Once a rising political figure who branded herself as an untouchable leader, Henyard's image has taken a dramatic nosedive. Her extravagant lifestyle, coupled with mounting accusations of corruption, has left many questioning her ability to govern effectively. Her eviction battle may seem like a small issue compared to the FBI investigation and allegations of financial misconduct, but it serves as yet another example of her disregard for responsibility. Even though she eventually paid the overdue rent, her landlord has lost all trust and is determined to remove her. With public pressure mounting and multiple investigations underway, the question remains, how much longer can Henyard maintain her grip on power before her empire crumbles? One thing is certain, her leadership is rapidly becoming a case study in mismanagement, excess, and political downfall.
I will get more interviews out of me. As long as y'all good to me, I'll be good to you. I have no issues. I just wanted people to say my side of the story and not just paint me as bad news, because it's not the truth, and y'all been witnessing it yourself.
Tiffany Henyard's political career is unraveling at an alarming pace. What started as a personal eviction battle has now spiraled into a full-scale scandal, with multiple investigations, financial mismanagement, and serious allegations stacking up against her. While her eviction drama may seem like a personal matter, it is just one symptom of a much larger problem. Henyard's leadership has come under increasing scrutiny, with concerns about her handling of Dalton's finances, potential corruption, and alleged abuses of power. Dalton's financial crisis, a $3.65 million deficit. One of the biggest red flags in Henyard's administration is Dalton Village's staggering $3.65 million budget deficit. This financial crisis was uncovered by an investigation led by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who was appointed to assess the village's financial health. Lightfoot's findings confirmed what many Dalton residents had long suspected. Henyard's reckless spending has drained the village's resources, leaving taxpayers to bear the burden. This massive deficit has raised questions about how taxpayer money has been allocated under Henyard's leadership. With lavish personal expenses, questionable campaign funding, and alleged financial mismanagement, it's no surprise that Dalton is now in serious economic trouble. FBI investigation, corruption, retaliation, and a sexual assault case. Henyard's financial controversies have caught the attention of federal authorities. The FBI has reportedly launched an investigation into her administration, looking into a range of allegations, including wrongful termination lawsuits. Former employees claim they were fired for exposing corruption. Retaliation against business owners. Local entrepreneurs accuse Henyard of forcing businesses to make political donations in exchange for licenses. Indirect involvement in a sexual assault case, a shocking claim that has added further controversy to her tenure. One of the most damning accusations comes from Lawrence Gardner, a local business owner. Gardner alleges that Henyard forced trucking companies, including his own, to donate $3,500 to her campaign in exchange for securing village licenses. When he refused to continue paying, his license renewal was denied. Gardner is not alone. Several other Dalton residents have reportedly been interviewed by the FBI as part of its broader investigation into Henyard's administration. A shaky position in Thornton Township. Henyard's problems are not limited to Dalton Village. She also serves as supervisor of Thornton Township, a role that is now under intense scrutiny. Township trustees have begun demanding transparency regarding her spending and financial decisions. Many residents have accused her of misusing township funds, mirroring the same concerns being raised in Dalton. With growing pressure from both residents and officials, her hold on this position is becoming increasingly unstable. Charity under fire. A cease and desist order adding another layer to Henyard's controversies. Her charity organization, Tiffany Henyard Cares, has now come under legal scrutiny. The Illinois Attorney General's office recently sent a cease and desist letter to the charity for failing to provide financial reports. This violation has raised concerns about whether Henyard was mismanaging or misusing charitable funds, further damaging her public image. Charities are expected to operate transparently and provide annual reports detailing how their funds are used. Henyard's failure to meet these requirements raises serious ethical and legal questions. Public outrage and calls for accountability as Henyard's scandals continue to pile up. Public outrage is growing. Dalton residents and business owners are demanding answers, with many calling for her resignation. Henyard once branded herself as a super mayor, but her reputation has now been severely tarnished. With an FBI probe underway, a massive budget deficit, allegations of corruption, and even an eviction battle, her leadership is quickly becoming a cautionary tale of power, entitlement, and downfall. The question now is not just whether she will face political consequences, but whether she will face legal ones as well. Will Henyard be held accountable, or will she continue to evade responsibility? Only time will tell, but for many in Dalton, change can't come soon enough.
The people will put me on the ballot. So we're doing the legal routes, which you guys heard me speak to yesterday, and we will be on the ballot.
Tiffany Henyard has made a name for herself, but not in the way she once envisioned. Once seen as a rising political force, she is now drowning in controversy, legal battles, and financial scandals. While she denies any wrongdoing, her grip on power appears more fragile than ever. With an FBI investigation looming, multiple lawsuits in motion, and even an eviction battle, Henyard's so-called reign as supermayor may soon be coming to an end. Denials and legal troubles. Despite the growing pile of accusations, Henyard and her team continue to downplay the situation. Her spokesperson has publicly stated that there is no knowledge of any FBI investigation, subpoenas, or law enforcement contact. But the facts paint a very different picture. Reports have surfaced that the FBI is actively investigating allegations of financial mismanagement, campaign donation schemes, and abuse of power. Business owners, former employees, and local residents have come forward, accusing Henyard of engaging in questionable financial dealings and retaliatory tactics. And while Henyard's team dismisses these claims, the reality is undeniable. She is facing serious legal troubles. The eviction battle, a personal crisis beyond her political and legal struggles, Henyard is also dealing with a personal financial crisis. She and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, recently became the center of an eviction lawsuit after failing to pay rent for several months. Despite living a lavish lifestyle with luxury trips, expensive clothing, and high-end dining, the couple simply stopped paying rent. Their landlord, frustrated by months of non-payment and locked out of her own property, was forced to take legal action. For someone who spent over $88,000 on personal glam squads and first-class travel, failing to pay $2,400 per month in rent is a telling sign of misplaced priorities. Now, even though Henyard's overdue rent has reportedly been paid, the damage is done. Her landlord has made it clear she wants them out for good. Political future in jeopardy. With her financial and legal troubles mounting, Henyard's political career is in a state of collapse. This was made painfully clear during the Democratic caucus for Thornton Township's leadership elections, where she failed to even get on the ballot. This year, for the first time in 30 years, a caucus system replaced the traditional primary election process for selecting nominees. To qualify, all candidates had to present a full slate of 8 individuals, including supervisor, highway director, clerk, assessor, 4 trustees. Henyard's slate of candidates completely fell apart when she failed to include a certified assessor, an essential requirement for eligibility. As a result, she was instantly disqualified. For someone who once boasted of being an unstoppable political force, this was a humiliating setback. It signaled a major shift in public and political sentiment, even among her own party. How long can she hold on? Henyard's once untouchable status is now in serious jeopardy. Her name has become synonymous with controversy, and residents are growing restless. With Dalton's finances in shambles, an FBI investigation underway, and her eviction saga making headlines, many are wondering, how much longer can she hold on as mayor? She has benefited from her position of power for years, living in luxury while taxpayers foot the bill. But with her reputation crumbling, legal pressures mounting, and even her own party turning against her, it may only be a matter of time before she is forced out for good. The chaos surrounding her leadership has reached a boiling point, and Dalton residents are demanding accountability. The only question now is, will she step down voluntarily, or will she be removed? Either way, Tiffany Henyard's political career is hanging by a thread, and it's only getting thinner by the day.